Type 2 diabetes is up over 3,000% in the general population in the last 25 years. It's up even higher in Hispanics and Native Americans. Autism's up from 25,300 and something to 1 in 58. If you add boys and girls together, it's even higher if you take the girls out of the equation. Breast cancer's up several thousand percentage points, and that we lead the world in that. Gut disorders, we lead the world in that. Obesity, we lead the world in that. Retardation, we lead the world in that. Chromosomal disorders, we lead the world in that. Neurological disorders, we lead the world in that. I mean, this isn't me just saying this. Go look it up. We are being devastated right now. Pediatric diseases are off the chart. It makes me so upset for all these children. Little girls, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, are getting ovarian cancer, something that never happened until women were, at least in their 30s or 40s. I mean, they're killing us. Oh, man, these globalists are so evil. I mean, if people knew that I'm not just here saying all this, if you knew that, we're facing the pit of hell. The absolute, pure, 100% crystalline evil. Every day, for instance, there are stacks of confirmed human experimentation against U.S. military troops, veterans, you name it. I have an investigation here that hasn't even broken yet that is confirmed with the government pumping toxic gases into hospitals just to see what it does to patients. I have reports here with more scientists bragging that they know the GMO is having backdoor traits added to it to sterilize you and give you cancer. We're being murdered. I mean, it really all comes down to that. All the rest of the news is just window dressing on the road to dehumanization. But in the final equation, all of the minions of the system, all of the servants of the system, they themselves are being killed by the globalists. You see, this is all about testing how much poison they can put in the food and water, how many diseases they can give us, and will we notice when type 2 diabetes is up over 3,000% in the general population in the last 25 years. It's up even higher in Hispanics and Native Americans. They want to see if we'll notice that autism's up from 25,300 and something to 1 in 58. If you add boys and girls together, it's even higher if you take the girls out of the equation. Or that breast cancer's up several thousand percentage points, and that we lead the world in that. Gut disorders, we lead the world in that. Obesity, we lead the world in that. Retardation, we lead the world in that. Chromosomal disorders, we lead the world in that. Neurological disorders, we lead the world in that. I mean, this isn't me just saying this. Go look it up. We are being devastated right now. And the general public is so fad-driven and so hollow. And it's not their fault. They were raised like this, that all they're talking about is the referee call at some NFL game because the referees are on strike or something. It is such an assault on the mind to know that we are under sustained globalist attack. Not my opinion, absolute fact. And pediatric diseases are off the chart. It makes me so upset for all these children. And women are being chopped up left and right. Little girls, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, are getting ovarian cancer, something that never happened until women were, at least in their 30s or 40s. I mean, they're killing us. And it's all a big test to see how much they can do to us before we even notice. And then also siphoning off all of the profit, all of the energy we accrue, because that's what money in the bank is symbols of energy. All the savings we accrue is siphoned off through the medical complex. This weekend, I talked to no less than 6 people who just had best friends, wives, husbands, neighbors die while having minor surgeries from flesh-eating bacteria, basically. I mean, the hospitals, the statistics are there. They are the #1 most dangerous place in the country. They are factories of unmitigated death. I was in somebody's house this weekend, and they have a lady that comes over a couple times a week to clean the house. And I walk in there, and in the middle of the table is fluoride water for babies. And I said, I know you know this is really bad. I said, who's drinking this? And they said, look, she brings her baby here when she cleans. She's not going to listen. She's about to get out of nursing school. And I said, yeah, but the American Medical Association says children under 6 shouldn't have fluoride. And the answer was, she doesn't care. She listens to the AMA. And I'm like, but I just said the AMA's been forced now 6 years ago to admit, don't give children fluoridated toothpaste or water. But it doesn't matter. The store says fluoride for babies. And it's, what is it, 3 or 4 parts per million? That's many times higher than what's in the water supply, which is admitted in the big new Harvard study to cause 20-point IQ reduction on average. That's the difference between being really smart and being stupid, folks. And bone cancer, you name it. But see, they do. They tell the nursing students still have fluoride water. They tell them you got to take vaccines or you can't have a job. And my point is it's very painful to not even be able to communicate with people. By the way, it's caused a big furor that the Harvard study has that stupid name Harvard on it. There's thousands of studies, thousands, over 2,000, going back 100 years or so, on the effects of not a little bit of calcium fluoride you need, but sodium fluoride when they manipulate the molecular structure. The type of acid they put in your water makes it hundreds of times more deadly, according to the brain surgeons and scientists we've interviewed. And it goes in there, and it's an adjuvant for everything else toxic in your body and fills up the thyroid and other areas and blocks them from getting the good minerals and things you need. But I was just thinking about not being able to get through to people because they have a hypnotic conditioning point. They have a hypnotic compulsion basically implanted in them. That's what this is. And so many people, when you warn them, they get this weird little smile on their face. And then they laugh at you, and that's the compulsion they've been programmed with. And so basically it's like people slitting their wrist collectively and just easing back into a hot bath to keep their veins open. And that's what our society's done. And so now there's a lot of heat on Harvard because they actually told the truth, their big medical center study about the precious fluoride. No one wants to admit, you know, that this has been done to us, sprayed on the crops, put in hundreds of parts per million in so many different canned foods. I mean, just brain damaging level. I didn't need to be told that stuff was in canned foods when I was a kid. I got to where I wouldn't eat it because it would give me a horrible headache. The Harvard study comes out. There's an article at Infowars.com on this from naturalnews.com. And Harvard said, well, yeah, the study does show this, but it only lowers IQs outside of America. There's some new weird spin where they're going to say, but it doesn't hurt Americans. It actually says that. And so, yeah, you shouldn't brush your teeth with it or drink it outside of America, but it's still okay inside of America. I mean, that's kind of like the American Medical Association was forced, and the American Dental Association in 2006, because of lawsuits and everything to come out and go, yeah, okay, it's true. Sodium fluoride's really bad for you, and it gives you fluorosis and causes bone fractures and joint problems and early onset of different types of joint disorders. You know, now they have the early onset of arthritis, early onset of, you know, oh, you're 35, it's time to get your Alzheimer's now. Crohn's disease is now, you know, all over the place, didn't exist 50 years ago. They're killing us. They're killing us. And it really only comes down to that. I see us being destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Being destroyed for lack of knowledge. Being destroyed for lack of knowledge.